This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm joined by Dan Rafael in not necessarily the immediate aftermath, but as close as we could get to seeing Canelo Alvarez become the undisputed champion at 168 pounds. Dan, straight into it, what did you make of his victory and his performance against Caleb Plant tonight?
It went like I have told you on previous videos. I was not surprised in any way. I thought Caleb Plant would give him a little trouble early just because of his length and his size. He did, although I didn't think that much. I still thought that Canelo won almost every round of the fight, but it wasn't like he won those rounds easily. But by the time they got to the second half, he was breaking him down. The left hook on, he was landing the left hook on Plant almost at will. Left hook was tremendous. What can you say? He's the best fighter in the world. We said that beforehand. Now it's proven once again. He's the undisputed champ on super middleweight division. Never been done before, both 4-belt or 3-belt era. The press conference just wrapped up, and they had him up there with all the belts. There's a lot of hardware. You could be a weightlifter to have all those belts strapped around you and holding them up. He's the man. He's the man in the division. He's the man in boxing. Until further notice. I mean, he's in his best right now. I mean, it's Canelo's world, and we all live in it. It was a great performance. It was a tremendous performance.
Was there anything that Caleb did that you think maybe gave Canelo a few questions to answer, or do you think it was a relatively straightforward night's work for him?
I don't think there was anything that he did that was overly complicated or difficult for Canelo. As a matter of fact, and I don't in any way mean to diminish the effort that Caleb Plant showed or the dedication that he had, obviously, to this fight. He was in great shape. I think that Billy Joe Saunders gave Canelo a tougher fight. I mean, it ended earlier when he suffered the fractured orbit bone, but I felt like Saunders, won a couple more rounds maybe than Plant did. Look, Patricia Morse-Jarman had the fight 96-94 in favor of Canelo at the time of the stoppage. I have no understanding of how that could be the case. Most everybody else had it, almost a shutout, or maybe gave Caleb Plant maybe 1, 2, 3 rounds. To give him that many, that's questionable. But be that as it may, it was a dominating victory for Canelo. 2 knockdowns and a spectacular knockout. And I mean, that's what the fans came for.
What next for Canelo, Dan? What would you like to see him do next?
Well, I mean, I asked him about that in the press conference, and others tried to ask in a similar manner also. Look, it's not that complicated. I mean, it's going to be up to him to decide. The options are stay at 168 and defend your titles. Go up to 175 and seek some other challenge. I mean, he's not going to 160, so those are the 2 possibilities. He's not going to retire. He's not going to go UFC route, or he's a boxer at the top of his game, and it's one of those 2 weight classes. So now you say, who's in those weight classes that he could fight? To me, the obvious one, and I love to see it, is he said at his press conference that he had 4 fights in 11 months. He needs to give his body a little rest. He said he's going to take some well-deserved time off, obviously, but he'll be back in May. So what's May? May Cinco de Mayo weekend. That's the big Mexican holiday. Well, he's obviously a Mexican fighter, and so they're going to turn it anyway. But if you make a big all-Mexican, Mexican-American fight on Cinco de Mayo weekend, who fits in that bill? Who's fighting next week on the same network with the same promotion that Canelo just had this fight with? His name is David Benavidez. He's a 2-time champion in that weight class, WBC title that Canelo now holds. He's also undefeated. He's young. He's a Mexican-American. He makes great fights. He's got a good chin. He's got good punching power. But he's not complicated. He'll be right in front of Canelo. It's exactly the kind of fight that I think boxing fans would go crazy over. It's probably a super exciting fight in the ring. They're fighting within 7 days of each other. If Benavidez wins next week against Kyron Davis, which he should, he's a huge favorite in that fight. He's fighting in his hometown. He's much more experienced and frankly a better fighter. Bring me Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez. I'll see you right here Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Well, Dan, it's getting close to midnight. I know I caught you as you were just about to leave, so it's been a pleasure to catch up with you as always this week. Enjoy the rest of what's left tonight, and I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you for speaking to me and Boxing Social.
I look forward to it as always. Thank you so much.